ways. Everything is changing. Just finished watching a video of a gentleman who has been studying AI for quite a while, and more so as an observer, not as a programmer, not as a developer, but just as an observer and what he sees coming down the pipeline. Well, Google just Gemini is the name of the AI that Google has developed, and you can take an image, you can take a photograph like this one right here. You can take a photograph and I haven't done it yet, but you can give it to Gemini and it will automatically generate a three-dimensional world that then you can explore. Virtually, of course. But all you have to do is give it an image, and then it will do the rest of the work. And some of the examples that they were giving were just incredible. They took a picture of a sailboat on the water, gave it to Gemini, and instantly now it became a three-dimensional world in which you could steer the boat. This gentleman was with a bunch of people at a massive conference in Silicon Valley, where there are a lot of people who have been in the tech world for decades. And he asked one gentleman who was at this point now a billionaire. He asked the one gentleman, in terms of the internet, where do you think we are? If you were to take where we are with AI today and compare it to the internet, what year would we be in? And the guy went, because he was there for it. He built his entire career and life and empire around the internet and the digital revolution. And he looked up and he said, I'd say we're about 1996. Well, in 1996, you couldn't even download a video off the internet because there wasn't enough bandwidth, right? And now here we are streaming 3 cameras at the same time in high quality definition, right? So the where we are at is really quite mind-blowing. We have no idea what's coming. This guy is also saying that this year, robots will be put into positions of labor. Robots, humanoid robots, will be put into positions of labor. And that by 2030, which if you really think about it is only 5 years away now, by 2030, it's expected that for every 3 humans, there will be 1 robot walking around in society. Whether that's good or bad, I have no idea. But I do know this, that it is only going to be good for those who have a paradigm shift that allows them to function in such a world. Like, it's going to be so drastically different from where we're at today. I mean, you think about it, from when the internet was delivered to our place in 1994 to 2000, the internet had already morphed and changed drastically. Did you know that YouTube actually, the YouTube was a company of its own long before Google bought it? You could watch YouTube before Google bought it. You could go to that website and there were videos of everything. There was no censorship, no nothing. You could get a video of anything. Google bought it, and then it became something even bigger. But I don't think Google bought YouTube until like 2005 or 2006. Nothing that we look around this world And nothing is going to look the same in 5 years. Absolutely nothing. Why? Because we're not even going to be building things. Robots are going to be building houses. And you'll have one man who knows how to build houses telling 3 robots what to do. Nothing is going to look the same anymore. It's amazing. It's amazing. What a time to be alive. We get to see the most changes that anybody's ever seen. It's incredible. I'm sobered. I'm usually really good at being able to visualize the future and, have optimism for it. And I still do. I really do. But I also know that it's going to require a lot of paradigm shifts. And I'm like, oh, I've got my own to work through because nothing is going to look the same. We're going to be printing cars in our garages. We're going to have a robot print our cars in our garage. And we're going to get the plans from some robot that built them somewhere on the internet. It's going to be wild. And it's also going to give access to a lot of abundance because everything is going to become very, very cheap to make. The internet actually created the network of printing presses, so to speak, actually drove the price of a lot of things down. And what we experienced was monetary policies to combat that, to give the impression that we're still in this wonderful world of 3 to 4% inflation per year. They had to maintain that. But that, in fact, the internet began to make things a lot cheaper. Not just tech, but even in transportation. Because now we didn't require so many humans to transfer information from one human to another. The internet was able to do that for them. And AI right now is about where the internet was in 1996. And the internet changed everything. And we're headed into another massive, massive acceleration of development, innovation, technologies. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think that the paradigm shifts that we're going to be experiencing are going to be centered around the idea that none of this matters. None of it actually matters. Yes, the world is going to change. It always changes. We always go through these renaissance moments. We always do. And we always come out the other side with a whole new horizon of possibilities expanding before us. But it's the people that have those paradigm shifts that are able to wield these shifts, be able to harness their potential. And I believe that big paradigm shift is going to be where we just look at all of this abundance and innovation and technology and be like, yeah, it doesn't mean that much. It's who are we becoming as a result of this? That's the question. And when that becomes the question, how we show up in the world will automatically be different from people who are so attached to all these innovations and technologies and what it is they can do with it. And that we will be standing apart from most of the world as kings and queens in our own right, simply because we aren't attaching any of our identity to any of that stuff, knowing none of it is important. And at that point, it does. These things that a lot of people are going to even entrench their life with. They aren't they aren't even good. They're not even going to recognize us at first. They're not even going to know who we are. but that through our employment of these technologies, I believe that we will, um, through our employment of these technologies, I think we will be able to stand apart. Oh, and Denise is coming back in.
Oh, got kicked out.
Good to see you again.
Hello.
Yeah, you know, this is, I'll finish up with this. The next generation of merchant, and we go throughout history, we can see exactly how this plays out. That it is the next generation of merchant that really begins the foundation, and that they are the ones that pioneer the landscape for commerce going forward and how business is done. And the fact that we're, you know, it almost seems like counterintuitive almost. You know, we've got this AI bubble that we're taking advantage of with our spare cash that we've accumulated. And yet we're also going back to old school farmers markets in a pub. And we're doing that. That's, you know, in 3 days we're having that market experience. And it's that, to me, is that indicator that we are kings and queens in our own right, going back to the basics, recognizing that none of this stuff matters, that really the only thing that matters is who are we being, not what are we doing, who are we being. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful journey. All right. I just had to talk about that because I'm late because I was watching this video and I couldn't get my eyes off of it as I'm just watching all of these videos, the worlds being created, digital worlds being created by this machine in the palm of my hand. Wild. All right, let's go through some charts here. Had lots of volatility over the last few days. But let's start with silver and gold here. There we are. So silver pushing up against this resistance, but I don't know. Well, who knows? I mean, it could continue to go up, but I'm pretty certain that we're going to see it drop again, simply because, you know, cryptos are starting to wake up. They're coiling, is what I like to call it. They're coiling, ready to spring into action. Gold also pressing up against that resistance here over the last little while. It'll be interesting to see where it heads. We do have a nice little channel here, so it could very well continue rising for a bit. But the Dow Jones is actually hanging out nice and low. And this might actually be what's driving some of this price action here, because the sentiment, this pattern here, this price pattern may very well create a sentiment of like a bearish sentiment on the markets. And as a result, people will start gravitating towards gold and silver. This is very normal. So the reason why this pattern looks bearish is because this low here got taken out by this low here. So with this low being present and this price action here not breaking up above this little area of consolidation, this is a bearish indicator. And so as a result, that may be why, and I'm going out on a limb here because I'm not following this nearly as closely as I used to back in the day, but that's my speculation on this, that we're seeing this rise in gold over the last little while simply because the Dow Jones, that major economic index for North America, is not looking pretty right now. This, on the other hand, is looking pretty. And we, of course, know that the institutions are pushing a lot of money over to cryptos as well. And so here we are, cryptos, we had that, over this last little while, a dip just from yesterday morning. we were creating some new high there, but then this dip occurred, and now we've been resettling at the upper edge of this consolidation range right here. So this price is now finding support and likely will continue going up. I call this a coiling. And the reason why is because, well, Bitcoin went over that 100,000 mark and then did a quick retracement. Again, this is going to be very short-lived. We're going to see this bounce back up again. The volatility will likely increase. And so this turns into kind of a situation where you got to be watching, holding on to your hat, because the velocity just might take it off. Ethereum, big dip, sure thing. But coming back and finding this support where we were before. Cardano, coming back down, finding support where we were before, but actually a little bit higher, in fact. We were down in here mucking around for a while. Ethereum went back to where it was mucking around for a while, but Cardano managed to stay higher. So this is encouraging. This is why I feel like these altcoins are really starting to get us to get settled into this bubble. And Cardano not retreating back to where it has been for the last few weeks, is only just having a nice little retracement. Solana, similarly, it has also dropped down, but it didn't go nearly as deep as Ethereum did. Injective, same idea. Polygon, this one here did come back down a little bit further, but remember, Polygon is a layer 2 coin from Ethereum, and it is gaming. So this one's going to be a little bit more delayed. It's not going to have the same actions. It had very similar price action in the sense that we got that big increase and then coming back down again. But I'm not expecting Polygon to lead the way, is what I'm saying. It's going to be following suit. 3 Protocol finding new lows, which is okay. That's that's all right. I did get a little bit of this last week, but I'm not throwing a whole bunch into it, not because I don't trust it, just because I'm pretty extended right now. But 3 Protocol definitely got some in this area here because, well, it's time. It's time. Woo. That one did come back to its previous hangout area. But this still looks really nice. This dip here might seem a little bit bearish, but it was very, very quick. And so that gets me to believe that, we're likely going to see a new high created and likely come into this 29-cent range before finding some more resistance. Fetch, staying on the upper end of this consolidation range here. That's a good sign. Destra, this is likely one of my largest bag that I'm holding right now. And we can see that, yep, it hasn't come back to where it was hanging out. It actually created a new high here and has settled out at the bottom end of this old pennant pattern that we had, where it got more and more, how do I do this way, where it got more and more narrow there. The bottom of this has now become support. So again, great position. And I think that Destra is not going to hold back once it goes up above that all-time high. I would say that once it goes up above that 60, then we'll likely see a shoot, like a really long candle taking us up to $1. 0 by 0. Same idea as Destra when it comes to my analysis on it. I think that anything under $1 is on sale. And that right now it looks like we've found that support from an old area of consolidation. IOS, a new one that's in our watch list. Definitely great position. Had this nice big push jumping up above this little consolidation area here. Right there, that consolidation area ended up becoming, it looks like it's becoming support. Might dip down still. Obviously, we don't have confirmation that we've found a low yet, but that is definitely what's happened right now, is that it's sitting on the top end of this consolidation range. And that has, we extend that back and you can see that there's been a great deal of price action in this area. Even in here, you know, it did rise above quite quickly, but there was a lot of price action. You can see up, down, up, down, up, down, and then up again, down, and up, down. So lots, the thing was like Arnold Schwarzenegger lifting weights back and forth. So yeah, that one, that price now being at the upper end of that range. There it is, literally sitting at the top of that range, ready to go. That's got great support. And anyone, it's another one that is actually dipped down below its previous consolidation range. Not to be too concerned about it. There's nothing to be concerned too much about this, because this area here is another support. And significant support. As you can see, this was the resistance there, but there's the support there. And it actually provided the support for this big movement here. So what we saw here was, you know, jumping up, getting up to this point here, but that was a big range. Like, this is a big jump going from here to here. That's a 53% jump, 56% jump. And so that was something that the market couldn't handle. And the bears took back some control here. And that's okay. But this point here and this point here are going to be a lot stronger than this little tiny consolidation here. This consolidation is actually found itself between, so there it is there, but it's actually found itself snuggled between this low here and this low here. There's rather this high here and this low here. So you can see it's kind of sandwiched in there. So the fact that we blew down, went past this going down is not that, it's not a bearish indication. And because it's crypto, we definitely can't look at the chart the same way as we would analyze a Dow Jones. And that's just because we're dealing with two completely different volumes. Dow Jones is in the trillions of dollars. Anyone is what, in the tens of millions of dollars. ARK. This one is looking pretty. Yep. So after coming up, squiggling a lot, coming down, finding support here, which is previous resistance, got a leg up over top of it, and is now finding support on the upper end of this. So this is why I'm saying, like, things are coiling up right now. I just envision it like the great big spring that's being compressed and getting ready for a big launch. Definitely. Link AI, same idea. We go on the daily chart here, we can see, yeah, beautiful. World in great position. This this position I got back in November, middle of November. It hasn't really moved much from there. It came up a little bit, but then it's found more here. Again, this one here, I'm going to liken it to Polygon, in the sense that we're not going to see the same action coming out of these gaming assets, simply because they are waiting for the AI bubble first. Like what I was just sharing with you about Gemini and how it can generate the environment from just an image. Well, with the gaming world, they're going to have AI generate the world of the character that's being controlled in real time, so that programmers don't have to develop the environment anymore. That's 80% of the budget of games is all of the programming, all of the programmers' paychecks to make these beautiful worlds that they simulate. Well, with AI being able to do it, you can take one machine of AI, the size of this book. You could take AI and have it replace 5, 6, 10 programmers. That's why a lot of big tech companies are actually getting rid of their computer science departments, because that's like, some of those guys are getting paid $250,000 a year for their expertise, but now we don't need it anymore because AI is smarter and more accurate. So we're like, everything's getting turned upside down and flipped around in the tech world. And yeah, it's exciting. Next, Neural. So yeah, World is another gaming coin. So I don't see it moving the way that we would expect AI right now. Like, World is not doing anything close to the type of price action that 0x0 or Destra is engaged in, because it's a different industry, different timing. So this is nice. I've got some, but I can tell you right now that if 0x0 or Destra goes in 5x's or 10x's or 20x's, I'll be watching, because charts like World will come up, but they're not going to 20x, right? They're not going to 20x until after they get past this point here. Between here and there, I could make a 20x with Destra and then come back and maybe buy in this area here, because the opportunity here, it's not bad. Like, this is 6x. Let's see, 5x. Oh yeah, so 4x to get back up to here. Well, between this price point here and this price point here, Destra will probably 10x. So I'm going to take those wins and I'm going to stick them in here before I get up to that all-time high. And then I can experience the growth from WorldCoin as we head into the gaming bubble. This is how people plan on, I know some people that they've showed me their plan, and their plan is to 500x their money this year. 500x. Now, will it work out that way? Who knows? The market never does exactly what we think it's going to do. But his plan was sound, and he's in position. Whether he gets that amount or not, I don't know, but I know full well he'll do 100 easy. And 100 is what I'm starting to think I'm going to shoot for. And I used to think, no, if I can do 20 to 30, I'd be happy. But of course, after you do a 5x on something like I have, probably since 2022, 2023, my money's definitely 5x'd, right? Having done that, it's like, I could actually see that happening in a shorter period of time over the next little while if I play my cards right. And so, yeah, I'm going to keep on asking. I'm going to keep on asking around, especially for people that, they did the 20x's and the 30x's back in 2021 on the last crypto cycle. I'll be studying success because it leaves clues. Neural, great position right now, sitting at $11, up from $3 in November. Amazing. I didn't get into this one here until we were at 7. So I have already seen this double up and now, of course, settle back down again. But this one here, I'm excited for. Smaller market cap, but that one is also supposed to go onto an exchange. And once it does, once all of these go on exchanges, all of them will increase. Even the ones that don't go on exchanges are going to end up increasing. The tides make all the boats float higher. Beam, this one here is more for gaming. So again, I don't expect it to move around the same way. It's also a newer project, but it is a fairly large market cap. So when it takes off, it'll move quickly. And it is, of course, already listed on the exchanges. PAL. soon to be listed on an exchange. And when it does, look at this. Look at how beautiful this is moving. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these here because we don't need them. But look at that. I'm going to go to the 2-hour chart so we can see this in greater detail. Yeah, so this gradual climb here, you know, we've also got one at the top end, right? So this channel here is going to definitely be continuing. I'm going to get rid of this. This is irrelevant now. Yep, so we're in the channel. PAL is AI infrastructure. Smaller market cap. I think it's under 100 million if I remember correctly. Let's just double check. No, it's actually above. So it's 358 million market cap. Ooh. There's a note here saying that PAL has migrated to a new contract address. I'll look into that to see whether or not that's officially changed. If it is, then I'll swap from the old contract into the new contract. But that might also be an old message that I just haven't seen before. We might have the new contract address. Who knows? FAR, again, gaming coin, seeing a lot of volatility here, and that's simply, well, that's just the pumps and dumps that occur around these smaller market caps. Finding a nice support here at this low. Look at that. Look at that. I got it way back here in October. Well, I know I got some more earlier than that too, but October 2000 to October 11th is when I got it at just under 1 cent. And right now it's again just under 1 cent, not quite as low as where I was at. Where was I at? Oh yeah. So I got it literally at 0.009 and it's at 0.00946 right now. So yeah, that's a great position. Good buy position. IMX also nice and low here. Finding some support. Let's go to the daily chart. Yeah. New highs. Even the lows are getting higher. So we have right now that same type of wedge pattern that we saw over on PAL, where it's actually, well, it's not really a wedge, is it? It's kind of a wedge, a loose wedge here. This one had some pushed up a little bit higher. Yeah, that's that channel. Superverse. Finding support right now close to around that purchase price that I got. I feel really good about that. Whenever it happens, it's like, oh, I could have sold here, but no, yeah, you could have. We all could have. But it's also a good sign that it's coming back and finding support. It means we're accumulating some more volume. Clearpool for real world assets actually seeing a downturn today over the last little while. And that's okay. Again, real world assets are going to be later. That cycle, that bubble is not going to happen around the same time, like at the same time as AI and even gaming. I think that we're going to see RWAs really come into effect after the gaming, simply because what's going to happen is people are going to realize as the gaming and AI are consuming a lot of electricity and power and computing resources, that people are going to realize, oh, hey, I can actually have my computer provide some of those resources on a global scale. And so then they're networking their computer in with those real world, and that becomes the real world asset, the computing power. And so when that occurs, that's when we're going to see these things take off. Seed World, another gaming one, nice and low right now. Bonk. This one's the meme, of course, hanging out at 0.00002. And then, of course, the non-playable coin sitting at 1.7 cents right now. Oh my goodness. I am going to get some more of this. I really am. I'm going to get some more of the NPC because coming back, that's going to triple. There we go. Market analysis and a little bit of my own little commentary on where we're headed in AI and the amazingness that it is all bringing forward. Any questions, comments, queries? For those of you watching, thank you so much. If you've got any questions or if there's an asset you want me to check out, definitely leave a comment. And if you'd like to join us live in studio here where we chat one-on-one, send me a message and I'll show you how we can get you started. The first call's free. So if you need some help getting set up or whatever else, just let me know. Be more than happy to set you up. You don't have to buy anything. There's no obligation. Would just love to chat with you and make sure that you're set up so that you can help pioneer this fourth industrial revolution. Thank you so much. Ending the stream.